Welcome to our first update on the AMADEE-24 mission in Armenia. We covered the mission start date quite extensively on our live stream. In case you haven't seen it, you can watch a replay on our YouTube channel. And today I'm here with our Flight Director, Reinhard Tlustos, who will tell us what happened since mission start day. So what's your update on what's going on in the field, Reinhard?
Welcome, everybody. And yes, so we have already some updates to tell you. We're still preparing the final experiments that needed to be set up. So this has been done in the last days and is also being done today. For example, the IROX team has already operated the rover. Our team has operated the rover, and it was exploring a bit the area around the habitat. Because like in a normal Mars mission, first you explore the area around yourself before you go further out. So this has been done. And also there were some experiments set up inside the habitat. So the staying alive experiment, for example, was taken online and others. We've also had our first problems that we were solving. For example, a pump was malfunctioning and the replacement had to be organized. So this was a cooperation between the Mission Support Center, brainstorming ideas of what could be done, and also the GHOST team that was then finding a way to fix a problem that came up. But this is exactly why we're doing all of this. Am I talking too much, Ira?
No, not at all. I'm always fascinated by your updates. You mentioned a pump. Can you elaborate a little why a pump is needed in the field? For what experiment?
Okay, so for this particular experiment, it's Hort 3 space. And this experiment is basically a greenhouse that's inside a tent that's attached to the habitat. And inside this greenhouse, the analog astronauts are growing with an automated system, actually. So the analog astronauts are supervising it, but the automated system is growing and watering and taking care of microgreens. So these are small edible microgreens, things that you can eat that will also enhance the diet of the analog astronauts. And this tent needed to be inflated with a pump. And there was a problem with the original pump, and this problem has been solved in the last days.
You mentioned the cooperation with the Mission Support Center. Is there anything you can tell us what the Mission Support Center, many hundreds of miles away, was able to do, how it was helpful?
Yeah, so in our case, we have a lot of brains and many people here. So we were brainstorming some possible solutions. In the end, it was not needed, but this is often the case. We brainstorm a lot of things, and then maybe one of these ideas is the one that works. Yeah, we were thinking of using from other experiments or alternative means of inflating the tent, also doing calculations of what would be necessary to inflate all the volume, speaking with the PIs and everything. So we were doing all of this communication. But in the end, the most practical solution was to go to a shop and buy a new pump, which of course cannot happen on Mars. But since we're simulating Mars and preparing for it, this was something that's still allowed in the preparation phase. Yeah.
Okay, so simulating Mars but not being there, were there any sandstorms in Armenia? Or could you tell anything about like the weather there, how the astronauts are doing, the analog astronauts?
Yeah, so we get a weather update for Mars every few days. The last days, as I heard and we've seen, were quite nice. I think it was quite sunny, not too hot, but still a comfortable temperature. I think tomorrow there's going to be rain on Mars, if you can believe that. So it's not going to be a sandstorm, but in our case, it might be some rain expected. So this is also a condition where the analog astronauts cannot do an EVA. But tomorrow is anyway a black day or a blank day in our scheduling where they have a day off.
Okay. Any ideas what they will be doing on a day off? How can we imagine that?
Well, I guess the day off is the only day we do not plan for them. And I think that's also very good for them to finally be able to relax after this very hectic and stressful period of settling in the habitat and everything. So I would imagine that they are going to maybe watch a movie. You can bring that to Mars on a hard drive with you, play some games, or maybe cook together.
Okay, so what can we look ahead for, and when will we next meet to hear about the analog astronauts and what they're doing?
Mhm. So in the next day, tomorrow is a black day, but after that we have several EVAs planned. So we go outside of the habitat, so the analog astronauts in the suit, and do some interesting experiments. I will tell you more about that at the next meeting, which will be in 5 days on I think it's then the 20th of March.
It's the 20th of March at 1 o'clock Central European time. We will be with you with the next update. So Reinhard, thank you very much for this time, and good luck to the mission. Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Okay.